So let's go ahead and listen.
Thanks. Greetings, Earth creatures. It's grand to be here. Which is the clicker? Oh, I figured it out. I used to be the state conservationist for NRCS in Montana, and this is the view from not quite my house, but a few minutes drive. You're on the Highlight Mountains, and you're looking at the Spanish Peaks there outside of Bozeman. And I got the call from Secretary Vilsack asking me if I wanted to head up NRCS, and first I had to make sure that it wasn't one of my inebriated friends playing a joke. And I finally was convinced that it was him, and I said, all right, you want to put me in charge of 12,000 people and $4 billion, and the mission is to do good? He said, yes. Yes, I could do that! And then I said to him, thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'm honored to accept that challenge. So anyway, I talked to my wife. She was cool with it all. Of course, we don't get out much. We didn't know what kind of provisions would be on the way east, so we loaded up the car and headed out this way. So remember, this is what I used to look at, and this is what I look at now, and I go, I've screwed up. But anyway, I was able to get a few licks in, and one of the key things we were able to do is start landscape-level initiatives. Instead of spreading this money out, doing random acts of conservation, actually start targeting so you like accomplish something. It did cause me some health problems. I had to go see a plastic surgeon and get a rear end enlargement to make room for all the boots that were being applied. Because there were some members of Congress who did not like this at all. But all the science is in, targeting works, systems works, conservation works, and now it's kind of a mood issue. And these are the ones that are just kind of the water quality stuff, and we'll get into your stuff a little bit later on. Any cropland field in the upper Midwest, what's attached to this water when it runs off? Everything we put on it. And in this particular area, it collects in this place called the Gulf of Mexico, the dead zone down there. We've heard a lot about that, but this is what it looks like under the water when you don't have oxygen and you're from the planet Earth. So we're targeting in the Mississippi, we've got like 640 12-digit watersheds. 12-digit watersheds, about 10 to 40,000 acres, 123 different projects. We've got an average of 9.5 partners per project, and this year we've already put in the last 3 years $222 million devoted to wildlife habitat and nutrient management in these areas. This is your alls area. The green area here is where we're really starting to focus on phosphorus, which a lot of people have mentioned. I got to give a little shout out to my friends here at EPA. Last 3 years, they have transferred $75 million to us that we put into this. About 25 a year. This last year we took 10 million of that and was all targeted towards the phosphorus. So I'm very grateful to EPA, and I'm simply saying that so you keep transferring money. All right, you saw this from the doctor's presentation, the algae blooms in Erie. That's what it looks like up close. This is good old Grand Lake St. Mary's. It's kind of on the periphery here. But let's talk about what we're doing about this stuff. And I'm going to show you a few before and after slides of the conservation work that's going around in our country. And you're just going to see a top few threads of a rich tapestry of conservation that's being woven in our country. But time says I'm going to be quick, so I'm going to be quick. Okay, classic gully erosion in cornfield today. Here's an abandoned poultry house. We're actually paying to dismantle these things, grind them up. We take them out, apply it in a cropland field to the soil according to soil test. Then we're taking putting soils back in where we're taking them off and reseeding them. No need to tell you what this substance is, this feedlot today. This is runoff direct from a dairy today. And we are also, please note, we're trying to get native species in here. We'd like to help our pollinators out so we have sequentially blooming plants so they have a longer food supply. Another area where cows right up there in the riparian area today. Can anyone tell me what those white tubes are? Tree protectors? No. We are so concerned those are actually nuclear-powered cow pie methane flares. Because we're trying to do our part for, global warming too. Actually, if there's anybody here from Missouri like me, those are tree protectors. The other thing sounds better though. All right, this is an orchard guy. He wanted to take some ecosystem services and get them for free to help pollinate his orchard. Boom. I think I want to be buried here. This is gorgeous. This is Michigan. Really bad pasture. You see the cows down there. It's all messed up. Now they got a heavy use area plant. The pasture's reseeded. Better for wild quality, better for the producer. This is an interesting one. Superfund site in Michigan. EPA actually contracted with us. Chock full of cadmium, every other heavy metal you can think of. This is today. Farming right up against the edge of the creek. Boom, today. Get that buffer in there. All too typical scenario. We can fix these things. I'm going to show you some new technology. This little thing on the right, I'm not going to mention the name, but this is an actual infrared scanner. As you move across the field, it reads the chlorophyll level in the plant and will adjust the nitrogen and phosphorus to meet the plant's needs on the fly. It's going to have a huge impact and save us a lot of excess application. Dr. Josh McGrath, University of Maryland, is trying this. These cages hold steel slag. And this pond on the right is catching the runoff from 4 poultry houses. And we're finding out this slag stuff just absorbs phosphorus like crazy, something like 80–90%. So this may have some application in the future. Then we also got, they look like bowling alleys, but there's a solar pump and a drainage ditch. It's pumping the water down these raceways, and it's growing algae. Either take the nitrogen and phosphorus out. We're trying to figure out what to do with the algae. We think we may be able to burn it for fuel. I'm going to talk about soil health now. Our agronomists are going to have to get together with your agronomists, because I'm going to push back a little bit, because we're actually promoting never-till. And here's why. This is a farmer-led effort. You look at the guy in the lower left, Gabe Brown. He has not used any manufactured nutrients in 15 years. He's really cut down on it. Dave Brandt in Ohio has had a 75% reduction in the chemicals he's using. This is where we're messing up. This soil is naked, hungry, thirsty, and running fever. We're seeing huge temperature increases below the surface. We have completely converted the soil to an aerobic environment. We need to fix that. If you look at the natural soil organic matter, 4.3%, 17 years in a conventional soybean rotation, you're down to 1.6. If we can keep that soil covered, if we can keep a living cover on it year-round, and we keep roots, we get better water infiltration, the earthworms come back, the good bacteria comes back, we need less fertilizer, less inputs all the way around. Here's a cover crop. Our farmer here talked about some of this. Look at the piece on the left. You can see the weeds coming up. On the right, they're not coming up. Don't have to use fuel to go over it. Don't have to use chemicals to kill it. Let me just show you some drought pictures. The soil health is on the left. Same field. Same area, different field on the same day. 11 years continuous no-till and 2 years of cover crops versus the field across the fence. Here's 11 years no-till plus 5 years cover crops across the fence. And by the way, this dog is 8 foot tall at the shoulder. There's a rancher down in Missouri, my home area, and he's been doing this soil health. He does mob grazing. This is last year. Look at what his cows had and what his neighbor had. We can fix these things. We can fix them in harmony with agricultural production. And I think that's the key thing here. We've got 9 billion people coming to our planet. We're going to have a 60 to 70% increase in food production. And how are we going to do that and have clean air, clean water, abundant wildlife, and a healthy environment for all of us? That's going to be one of our key challenges. And I was on the 2002 and the 2008 Farm Bill. In 2008 was loaned to Senator Harkin, in 2002 to Senator Lugar. And I want to tell you one story before I close about the 2002 Farm Bill. And this was in the summer of 2001. This was before 9/11. It was before anthrax was sent to Senator Daschle's office and shut down the Hart Building. And I was living in Fredericksburg at that time and commuting via the Amtrak. And at that time, the last Amtrak train that left Union Station left at 7 p.m. So if I didn't get on that, I was sleeping on the couch or imposing upon a friend. And one day I looked up, it was early summer, and it was like 10 minutes to 7. Oh my God, I was like, throw all this stuff in. I go running down out of the Dirksen building, down the hill, across 18 lanes of traffic. Long story short, I just barely made that last Amtrak train. And I'm sitting there, and I'm all hot, and I'm sweaty. I'm huffing and puffing. And the beautiful thing about Amtrak is they have this thing called the cafe car. And I'm in agriculture, and I really want to support agriculture. And one of the ways I support agriculture is through the consumption of value-added barley products. And the cafe car has these. So I went back to the cafe car. And and there's this little girl in front of me. I don't know, it's 8, 9, 10. I can't, it's a little girl. And she's ordering this thing and that thing, and the lady behind the counter is putting it all together. And then I looked at her closer, and I know she is, she's a Down syndrome child. And I don't know if you have any experience, but these are really wonderful people. Kind, trusting, generous, much better people than I will ever be. And she had finished her order, and the lady got it all together and tallied it up, and she said, well, that'll be $6.74. And I saw this little girl's hand go up, and in her hand, she had $2 and a little skiff of change. And as I looked at her, she looked up, and she said to that lady, she says, is this enough? And I'll never forget the response, because this unionized Amtrak employee took that money from that little girl, and she looked down at her, and she said, yes, honey, this is exactly right. And what I submit to you is that what is happening to our environment is happening on our watch. There is no one else to call. If these problems are fixed, we will be the ones to fix them. And I submit to you that that lady did that which is right. And in our time and in our place, we must do that which is right. For the environment, for each other, and for those little ones who will surely come after us. Thank you, and God bless you.